Hello, everybody. How you doing today? My name is Tony Rizado, and this is episode 124 of the world famous University Love Affiliate Party Podcast. Today is Monday, November the 16th, 2020. Our president still hasn't gave up the election. He's still fighting the good fight. So if Trump, who lost an election, can keep fighting the good fight, all of us can keep fighting a good fight with this online marketing, huh? How about it? But anyway, how was your weekend, huh? Mine was pretty good. A lot of working. And, But today, we are back with another hard-hitting episode of this podcast. We are going to talk about why people don't buy from you, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever tried to sell anything in your life? Have you? Now, we are all salesmen. I've learned that at some point in my life. We all, or I know people don't like to hear the word salesman, but we are all salesman or woman because, hey, we all have tried to sell ourselves to somebody at some point, whether it's a job, a relationship, a friendship, whatever. You know what I mean? We have all tried to sell ourselves at some point or another. So we are all naturally, salesmen, but people don't like the word. People don't like salesmen for some reason. I don't think it's that big a deal, but when people think of salesmen, they always think of car salesmen, hey, come buy my car, But there's an episode of Andy Griffin one time, and it makes me laugh when I think about it today. Barney wanted his own car because he got tired of using he got tired of borrowing the squad car, and so Bernard P. Fife, one of the greatest characters in TV history, he decided he saved up some money. He wanted to buy a car. So a little old lady came and claimed that her husband had a car and she only drove it 20 miles an hour, yada yada yada. So Barney, he was a sucker. He fell for it. He said, how much, Mrs. Leish? How much do you want for this here car? And he was whispering to Eddie how much money he had, and she said, oh, $500. And he said, deal. And of course Barney, he gathered up the whole gang, Andy and Aunt B and Opie and Gomer and Thelma Lou, and they was all in the car driving, and Barney, the car just started acting up, and the car, went dead, and they did a check, and it was sawdust in the car, and this, that, and the other, and of course they took the car back. Well, they was gonna take the car back, but it broke down, and then somebody picked it up, and it turns out the lady was a real crook, and she had been selling lemon cars to people, and acting like she was an elderly lady and everything, and that's how people view car salesmen. That's the version that people get when they think of salesmen. Kind of sleazy, kind of slimy, but being a salesman, nothing wrong with that. We are all salesmen. Hey, I'm selling myself every day with people tuning in to the podcast. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, subscribe. I go on Twitter every day. After I upload this podcast, I go on Twitter. Hey, subscribe to this podcast. Send out emails saying subscribe to the podcast. So I'm a salesman. You're a salesman. We're all salesmen. But anyway, to the lesson of the day. I was driving this weekend. I listened to this audiobook by Zig Ziglar. It was like 17 hours long. I haven't finished it yet, but he made a lot of good points. If you never read one of his books, I recommend them. I don't recommend all of them, but the one I read was not Born to Win, but I can look it up right now, as a matter of fact. We will check it out right now. The Secrets of Closing the Sale. Very interesting book. He made quite a few points in there. He had a lot of acronyms and synonyms and all that good stuff. And I just wanted to share one piece of it with you that I found interesting. He says 5 reasons why people won't buy from you. Number 1, no need. Number 2, no money. Number 3, no hurry. Number 4, no desire. And number 5, no trust. Now, the no trust is something big. Now, because the way the world is set up now, we're getting less and less trustful of each other, you know? I remember even as a kid, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you know what I mean? I graduated high school in 97. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And there wasn't like, salesmen would come knock at your door and you would say, hey, let them in. You wouldn't just be like, nope. You could still call people on the phone and get somebody to answer the phone, Nowadays, people are just like, no, I don't trust you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't want to buy from you. I don't know you. So even before now, now it's harder. You have to actually try to get to know people, or this is why I say you want to dig a ditch. You want to start creating content. You want to make a podcast so people can get to know you. People can feel like they like you, they know you, they trust you. Because it's harder to build trust. It's harder to gain a rapport with people. Because even I've been making phone calls in the last month, and it's hard. It is hard to get people on the phone. So now I had to start doing something. I would email people first. I would send them an email, send them a text, so they could see the number. And I could say, hey, I'm a real person. I will be following up with you in the next few days. So, I would let people know. Then I would call them, and then they would say, oh, you sent me an email, or you texted me. I say, yeah, that's me. I'm the guy that texted you, So it's like, because my brother, my parents, I have a cousin, they have the same philosophy. If I don't know the number, I'm not going to answer the phone. So how can you sit here and call people on the phone and try to make sales calls if they're not going to answer the phone? If then you leave a voice message, if you're like my wife, she doesn't even answer. She doesn't even look at the only voicemail she checks is at her job, at the business she owns. She checks those voicemails, of course. But on her personal phone, nah. Because I can say, hey, I called you and left a voicemail. I said I'm gonna be recording a podcast, and she go, oh, I didn't check it. Text me or something. I go, oh, okay. So it's hard to get the trust of people if you can't get a hold of these people. So you want to use even if you sign up to an affiliate program where you want to make phone calls or whatever, or even if you have a job in sales or where you call people, try to email them or text them too as well, just to let them know that, hey, I am a human being. I would like to get in contact with you. I would like to talk to you, And one thing that he said that is very true, a lot of people don't want to buy from you on the first go round. You have to follow up. And they say after the 5th time you follow up with somebody, then they're more likely to buy from you. A lot of times it's not the product that you're selling, it's the person that's doing it. Because if I come to you and say, hey, I say, hey, would you like I want to sell you a pair of Michael Jordans, and you go, no. A lot of people would go, oh, okay, thank you, and then they would never contact you again. But if I come back and say, hey, are you ready for those Jordans, and by the 6th time, you might be like, you know what, this guy, I'm starting to like this guy. I'm starting to get a handle on this guy. I think I could trust this guy. I know I could trust this guy. And after the 5th time, because you have to keep following up. That's another thing about trust. You have to build trust. Just because they say no, they don't say no, never call me again. They just say no. That doesn't mean the door is shut. You always come back. You might want to come back, a month later and say, hey, because one thing I'll just tell you quickly about program I'm a part of. They fill out a form. You can buy leads. So you can buy like 50 leads. You buy these leads. These people they obviously filled out a form online. So they're interested in making money online. So they filled out a form. You get the leads. You can call them up and you say, hey, you filled out a form of mine online, and now I'm calling. And if they say no the first time, why would you not call back? Don't not call back just because they say no. They say no this time. It's a follow-up. And if you call back, they didn't block your number, that means, unless they block your number or just hang up on you completely, like, you can always follow up. You can always follow up through text message or email, whichever, One thing I had to learn, one thing I've had to learn, is not personal when it comes to business transactions. This is not a personal thing. I know the first time I called somebody, and I was trying to make a sale when I was with a MLM company. I called, and first it took me a long time to get the courage to make the phone call. Then when I made the phone call, I got kind of nervous. Then they answered the phone. I'm like, yeah, hello? I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Went through my little spiel, and they said, not interested. And they hung the phone up, and I said, oh, shit. And I was like, damn it. And then it took me like a week to make the next phone call. And it's like, why would I wait a week? Because I took it personal. I was like, man, they hung up on me like that. And it's nothing that you done. This is business. This is a business transaction. You have a service that you think people want. You have a service that people want or people need. So they might not be the right person. The next person might not be the right person. But there's somebody out there who is ready to buy from you. You just have to find those people. So building trust, building a rapport, that's a lifetime thing that you have to work on, that you have to just work on it with people, Call, follow up. That's part of the whole trust thing, Call, follow up, even after you make the sale, even after they buy from you or whatever. Always call, follow up, check on them, just say, hey, how you doing, because the more you do that, the easier things become. And after a while, you want to go from, cold calling a lot to, after a while, you can get it to where you make a lot of money just from referrals. And trust me, the referrals are a lot easier than doing the cold calling, Cold calling is difficult because you don't know the person. They don't know you. You don't know them. You getting to know them. But if you get a referral, if somebody calls you up and say, hey, Mike told me that you're a great person to listen to, talk to, yada, yada, yada. You already got one foot in the door. Now all you have to do is not screw it up. And they're calling you. So, that's trust. So referrals are a lot easier. So just remember that. Gain the trust. Follow up. That's part of the whole trust factor. Make sure, of course, the product's decent. Don't try to sell people shit products. But we talked about that before. But yeah, trust is definitely something that you have to earn these days. It's not what it used to be. People are more jaded. People are more cynical. People are more, that ain't gonna work, blah, 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 blah. Just like now, a popular thing on YouTube is having people be negative about other people trying to make money online, They're like, oh, this guy might be a fraud. This guy might be a scammer, So there's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of this, a lot of that. So you definitely just want to gain somebody's trust. You want to, don't gain their trust to just sell them something, but you just want to gain, you know what I mean? Like, don't be in it just for the sale, because people can see through that, actually, care about, don't think about the money, just think about what it can do, because really, in order to be great at this whole making money online, this whole online business, to be great at any business, you have to care about your customer. You want to show the customer, let them know, hey, I'm here for you, you know. I'm not saying you got to bend over backwards and kiss nobody's ass or nothing like that, but you definitely want to show people that, hey, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. You know, what can I do? You know, how can I make this experience great for you? Because a lot of the times now, it's not about the product. It's not about you. It's about the experience they have with the product. You know what I mean? Like a lot of different companies now. I listen to a lot of, you know, how I built this entrepreneur type podcast, how people got started in the business, and a lot of it is customer service. A lot of it is, hey, we're here for the experience, you know. We're gonna make this into an experience, and that's, you know, that's part of building up the trust. So you build up the trust, and because of course, you know, like I told you, the hardest sell is the first sell. After that, if you treat them right, they'll keep coming back. You rather have repeat customers than going to have to go out and make new customers. You know what I mean? So that's trust. You have to, and it's a lot easier if people look you up online. It's just like if you look up Tony Rizano online, you'll see, hey, this guy's a human. They'll see the podcast. They'll see the website I got. They'll see the stuff I write on Medium. They'll see all kind of stuff. They realize, hey, Tony Rizano is a normal person. Tony Rizano is a human being. It's not like I'm in the shadows or I'm hiding, you know, anything like that, you know. So that's why I preach about creating content and putting it out there. Now, number 4, it was no desire. Some people just don't have the desire. They might not have the desire to buy from you, or they might not have the desire to buy what you're selling, but they just don't have a desire. I don't really. If they have no desire, they might not have a desire at the moment. So definitely call back. You definitely follow up, or you ask open-ended questions. You know, you ask them, you know, what can I do? Oh, you know, or you know, what does this product not do for you? You know, at the moment, or something like that. You know, you want to ask open-ended questions. You know, you want to get it to where you could ask. You want to get it to another thing about you know, selling, talking about selling products, or doing whatever is, as a salesman, the best thing you could do is ask a question and listen. Ask the question and listen, you know. Ask them, what do you think this product, or where do you see yourself with this product? What do you see yourself doing with this product? You want to ask questions that, because you want to stay away from the yes and no, because if you ever, it's like if you I remember when I was in the Navy, you know, I would meet, when I was in the Navy, my place of meeting women was on the trolley, okay? So I would meet a woman on the trolley, and I could always tell if it was going to go well or not, because sometimes I would ask the wrong question. Sometimes I would ask a question and it was just a yes or no question, and then they would give me the shortest response. I would go, you know, so, you know, do you live around here? And they would go, nope. And I go, oh. And then I would be stuck. And then it's like, the clock is ticking, because they might be getting off at the next stop, or they might be getting off in 2 stops. But they're getting off at some point, and I'm already behind the 8 ball. So then it's like, so, single? And they go, yep. And it's like, oh, shit. And so you still, you know, you're kind of struggling, you know what I mean? So you want to ask open-ended questions, you know? Like if you say, you know, hey, you know, like if I would have, like sometimes I would ask the question, I would say, oh, I see you're wearing a uniform. Where are you coming from? You know, blah, blah, blah. And then they would start talking. And then I could gather some information. And then I could ask some more questions with the information that I gather, you know. But just asking a yes or no question off the bat always kind of threw me off a little bit. So whenever you're talking to somebody about your product, your affiliate product, or whatever product you got, That's even if you make phone calls, you know. Which myself, I highly recommend that you follow up with people with a phone call, or you just try to get their phone number anyway, so you can follow up. Because a lot of people, once they get to know you, they'll want to talk to you on the phone because they'll want to have questions. You know what I'm saying? And it'll save you time. As I told you before, I wasted a lot of time emailing people back and forth. So now I'm like, hey, I'll email you, but if you have a lot of questions, we can just bang it out with a quick phone call. It don't take long. It don't hurt nobody. You know. So, but yeah, you wanna ask open-ended questions so you can figure out why they don't have the desire or the passion at the moment. It might be at that time. So now, number 3, no hurry. I mean, if you I'll tell you about my brother. My brother, he's one of these people, he's never in a hurry about nothing. So if you ask him, you say, so, you like the truck? He'll go, yep. You go, can you see yourself in this truck? Yep. And you go, so when do you think you would want to start filling out the paperwork? And my brother go, I'll get back to you. And you go, what? You just said you wanted it. You can see yourself in it. You got desire. You trust me. So what's the... And my brother's like, I'm not in a hurry right now. My car's working just fine. So I'm gonna wait till my car gets a little older. And it's like, So me, myself, I haven't run into anybody that's not in a hurry. Most of the people I just have to follow up with. A lot of people, they say, a lot of people don't have money or need things like that. But I've never had a situation where somebody's not in a hurry for the product I'm selling. So I'm not that strong when it comes to no hurry. But it's like online sometimes you see people doing these classes and stuff, and then they always put a timer up, and it's like scarcity. So they want to get you in a hurry. I think that's what they want to do. They're like, if you act fast now, you can get all 9 bonuses, but you have to act fast during the call, during the presentation. They want you to act fast, so they trying to get you, I guess, from not being in a hurry. Because I know when I used to get on those things, and they would talk, and they like, if you act now, I'm thinking, nah, I'll be back whenever I feel like it. So I wasn't in a hurry either. But I'm like, nah, because I'm like, why am I acting fast about? Why am I gonna act fast about a $900 product? That's just me. But I was like, nah, I gotta find out what's going on with this product, And of course, number 2 is no money. But people get a hold of money when they want something. I know Zig, he told a story about how this lady, he was trying to sell cookware, and she didn't want any cookware. She said she didn't have any money. But then she asked him, do you got any china? And he was like, oh yeah, I got some in the car. And he ran to the car, came back with the china, and she bought the china. She went from not having any money for the cookware to having money for the china, So it's like, people have money, they just use that as a good excuse. Like, oh, I got no money. And then they whip out money. They pull out money for what they want to pull out money for, you know what I mean? And of course, no need. A lot of people, even though a lot of people, they fill out these forms online and tell you they want to start a business online, they want to do this, they want to do that. And then they go, nope, I don't need it. They need it, they just don't want to do the work. So a lot of people say no need, they don't have a need for it, but they might have a need for it. They might not have a need for it, but a lot of times people buy stuff that they don't need anyway. So no need is, you can work your way around that. You can work your way around all these no's. You can turn all these no's into a yes. You know what I mean? So you just have to work on it. It'll take practice. It takes a lot of practice. I'm just getting, I'm just getting things down pat myself. One of the harder things I had to do was work on the follow-up was something I had to work on. Because people would say no, I'd be like, all right, thank you. And then that would be it. But you must work on the follow-up. The money's in the follow-up. The more you follow up, the better off you are. Even after they buy the product, you definitely want to follow up. Now, I didn't follow up, not because I didn't want to, but a lot of times I get busy doing this stuff, the driving, and then I get done at night, and it's like midnight. I'm like, who the hell am I going to text at midnight? I don't want nobody getting the wrong ideas, you know what I mean? So I definitely got to work on that. I definitely have started doing more pullovers and things of that nature to make phone calls, follow-ups during the day. And then I'm like, if I got to wake up early in the morning to drive or stay up late and drive, then it is what it is, you know what I mean? But my business comes first. So that's that. I didn't realize we've been chit-chatting for the last 26 minutes. So we're in the podcast now. Those are just the 5 major reasons why people don't buy. So like I said before, like I told you, don't get offended. It's not a big deal. It's nothing personal. We are all in the more that you actually get over the fear of selling, the more that you put into your business, the more money you make, the more the things will work out. You know what I mean? It just sometimes for some people it takes time. Sometimes for others, some people just natural. You know, I'm not a natural. You know, because I've been doing a job where I haven't had to talk to people. I could go days without speaking to people. You know, just the briefest interaction. So for me, it was like starting from scratch when it comes to, you know, talking to people, following up with people, you know, seeing how people are, seeing where people is at, you know. It's something I had to, you know, basically kind of start over because, you know, my social interaction was, you know, at an all-time low, you know. But for you, it might be different. So just remember, just to get in the game, stay in the game, you know, and really work at it. Just keep working at it, you know. Work at whatever you're doing. Give it 100%. And man, it'll, you know, I'm not saying you ain't gonna fail and all that jazz, you know. But as long as you're in the ball game, something to click, you know. One program might not work out for you, but the next program just might. You know, the same thing is not going to work for everybody. Podcast might not be for you. YouTube might be for you. Or Facebook might be for you, you know. Instagram might be your thing. It just depends. Just hang in there, keep going, and you'll be okay. But we're going to wrap this up. Just remember, the 5 reasons why people won't buy from you. No need, no money, no hurry, no desire, and no trust. You can turn all those no's into a yes with just a little bit of practice, some follow-up, and make sure you are asking open-ended questions when it comes to making sales calls or emails, or texts, or however you communicate with people. Make sure you are asking open-ended questions. It's okay to ask yes or no questions sometimes, but you don't want 100% of your questions to be yes or no. You want some to be open-ended. You want people to start talking to you about themselves, so you can find out more about themselves, so you can find out more about them. The more you find out about them, the more rapport you can get from them. The more comfortable they get with you. It's not manipulation. It's just, you know, real life. This is you getting to know somebody, so you can give them a product that you know, that you believe in, that you know will work for them. Because it's the main thing. You have to know that the product will work for them. You're not selling them a product. You're selling them what the product can do for them. All right. With that being said, good night, everybody. Just kidding. My name is Tony Rosano. This is the Affiliate Party Podcast, and we will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, everybody, peace.